In this video, we are going to use complementary, supplementary, vertical, and adjacent angles to solve for an unknown or a missing angle. Let's go ahead and look at our first angle. Complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees, also known as a right angle. In this picture, angle 1 and angle 2 add up to 90 degrees. This is a complementary angle. We can write an equation where angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90 degrees. We can use these equations to solve problems where we have an unknown. For example, in this picture, I have x and I have 36 degrees. I do not know this angle. However, I can find this angle by setting up an equation. My equation will be x plus 36 degrees, and I will just write 36 equals 90 degrees. Now this is a one-step equation. I can go ahead and solve for x by subtracting 36 on both sides. Whatever you do on one side, make sure that you also do on the other side of the equation. Here, positive 36 and negative 36 cancel because they equal 0. X, bring down the equals. 90 minus 36, well, I know I need to borrow. This becomes 4. 8 minus 3 will give me 5. Therefore, x equals 54. Now, since I'm looking at right here, I know x is my unknown is 54. That tells me also that the degrees of this angle is 54 degrees. All right, let's look at another example. Here are two practice problems for complementary angles. We are going to start with this first practice problem. In this first practice problem, it says to solve for x. So I am given this picture where I have 2x plus 5 for one of the angles, and I have 61 degrees for the other angle. In order to solve for x, I'm going to write my equation. So I have 2x plus 5. I am also going to add 61 degrees, and I'm just going to write 61 equals, this is a complementary angle, and remember, complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. So I'm going to set that equal to 90. Here I can combine these two because they are constants. But first I'm going to bring down 2x, positive 5, positive 61. I will add those and I will get 66. Bring down my equals, bring down 90. Now this is a two-step equation. In order to solve a two-step equation, I need to get my variable by itself. In order to do that, I'm going to subtract 66 on both sides. So we'll cancel. I will bring down my 2x equals 90 minus 66. Again, I will have to borrow. This becomes 8. 10 minus 6 will give me 4. 8 minus 6 will give me 2. So that's 24. I will divide both sides by the coefficient. The coefficient is 2. This will cancel because 2 divided by 2 is 1. I am left with 1x, or just x equals. 24 divided by 2 will give me 12. That is my answer for x. And I am done with this problem because it only asked me to solve for x, and I got x equals 12. Now, for a more difficult problem that not only asks me to solve for the variable, but also I have to now solve for an angle. The reason why I have to solve for a variable is that I can plug it into the equation and then find the angle. So for here it says solve for angle Cbd. D. If I look at my picture, C is right here, B, D. So I am looking at this angle. So in other words, this angle right here is what I need to solve for. Now, I can solve for it by creating an equation just like I did over here. I am going to take 5x plus 2 plus 3x and set it equal to 90 for 90 degrees because it is a complementary angle. Here I'm going to combine 5x and 3x can combine. 5x plus 3x will give me 8x. Bring down the positive 2. Bring down my equals. And bring down my 90. Okay, this is again a two-step equation. I will subtract 2 on both sides. I will cancel a positive 2 and a negative 2 because that's 0. I will bring down 8x. Bring down my equals. 90 minus 2 I can borrow, but I know 90 minus 2 is 88. One more step to get my variable, x by itself. I will divide both sides by the coefficient. The coefficient is 8. And again, 8 divided by 8 is 1, so this cancels. I get 1x, in other words, just x equals 88 divided by 8, I know is 11. Okay, so I found what x equals, but I can't stop there because that's not what the problem asked me. The problem, again, asked me to solve for angle CBD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, x equals 11, and I'm going to plug it in for x. Okay, so in order to find angle CBD, I'm going to take 5 times x, so I'm going to do it on the side right here. This is, parentheses, 5 times x, 5 times 11, close parentheses, plus 2. Well, 5 times 11 I know is 55, plus 2. 55 plus 2 will give me 57. Okay, so what that tells me is that this angle is equal to 57 degrees, and that would be my answer. Okay, let's look at another problem where we are going to look at supplementary angles. So this is a different type of angle. This angle is different than complementary because it will add up to 180 degrees, which is also called linear. It is a straight line. So as you can see in this example right here, I have angle 1 and I have angle 2. They both form a straight line, which is again called linear. So I can write an equation. My equation would be angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180 degrees. Okay, so equals 180 degrees. I'm going to apply that to this problem right here. Here I see I have x and I also have 104 degrees. So I'm going to write an equation where I'm going to write x plus 104 equals, since they form a straight line, 180 degrees. This is a one-step equation. I can solve it by subtracting 104 on both sides. So minus 104. This will cancel. I will get x equals. I will borrow, since I can't do 0 minus 4, this will become a 7. 10 minus 4 will give me 6. 7 minus 0 will give me 7. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So x equals 76. So what that means right here is this angle is 76 degrees. Okay, let's look at some more problems with supplementary angles. So down here, I can see that I am dealing with supplementary angles where 94 degrees and my 4x minus 20 form a straight line. That tells me that it is equal to 180 degrees. So I'm going to write my equation. My equation becomes 4x minus 20 plus 94 equals 180. Now, I can combine negative 20 and positive 94 are both constants, so those can combine. But before I do that, I'm going to bring down 4x. So 4x, negative 20 and positive 94, like I said, combine. And this will give me 74 equals 180. And then this becomes a two-step equation. Subtract 74 on both sides. After subtracting 74 on both sides, this will cancel. I will be left with 4x equals, when you subtract, you can borrow, and you'll end up getting 106. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 will give me 1, which is just 1x. So I'm going to be left with x equals, now I know this isn't going to give me a whole number. 4 goes into 10 twice, and I know I will have a remainder. It'll be 8 with the remainder of 2, and then I bring down the 6 and so on. I know that this is 26.5. And you can go and divide that as well and check and make sure that it's 26.5. Okay, so that is my x. So that was my goal, is to solve for x. So I know that x is 26.5. Sometimes you will have decimals and not whole numbers. Okay, so let's look at a more difficult problem where we have to solve for an angle. So here I have to solve for angle ZXY. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to look at my picture and I'm going to look for angle ZXY. Z starts here. I'm going down to X to Y. So that tells me that I am looking for this angle. In order to find that angle, I can again write an equation. So I'm going to go ahead and write 2x plus 1 plus x minus 22 equals 180. Because again, this is linear. That tells me that that is 180 degrees. I can combine multiple terms. Here I have a positive 1 and I have a negative 22. I also have a 2x and a positive 1x. I like to do my variables first. 2x plus 1x will give me 3x. So I'm going to write 3x. Positive 1, negative 22 will give me negative 21 equals 180. This is a two-step equation. I will add 21 on both sides. So plus 21 plus 21. So we'll cancel. 3x I will bring down. Oops. Okay, on here, I know 0 plus 1 will give me 1. 8 plus 2 will give me 10. And then I will add another 1 since that's 10, and this will become 201. Okay, I will divide both sides by 3. This will cancel. I know that 3 goes into 26 times, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write x equals, let's do it down here, x equals, like I said, it goes 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18, so I will have 2 left over, and I have my 1, that'll be 21. 3 goes into 21 7 times. Therefore, x equals 67. Okay, I'm not done with my problem. Remember, I need to solve for my angle ZXY. y. So I will take what x equals, and I will have to plug this in my equation right here to find what the angle equals, okay? So I have 2 times x. I'm going to do it on the side right here. So I'm going to do 2. In parentheses, I'm going to times it by 67 plus 1. Okay? When you go and multiply, I like to think of 2 times 70. I know 70 is 140, but minus 6 since I did that twice. So I will get 134 plus 1. 134 plus 1 is 135. So what that tells me is that this angle right here is equal to 135 degrees, which is my overall answer. Okay? Now let's look at another type of problems. We've gone over complementary and supplementary. Now we're going to go over vertical angles. Vertical angles are intersecting lines that create 2 sets of equal angles. And please remember, equal is a big term because vertical angles are going to create equal angles. Okay, so on this picture right here, you can see in the green, angle 1 and angle 3 are the same because since they intersect and they're opposite from one another, those are equal to one another. So angle 1 is equal to angle 3. In addition, angle 2 right here is equal to angle 4. Okay, we're going to apply that to this one right here. So here I'm given x, and here I'm given 99. Well, since this is vertical angles, I know that these are equal. Therefore, I already know my answer. I know that x equals 99. Okay, now let's look at some more difficult problems. So for practice problem number 1, it says to solve for x. This is just like the problem before where I have 2 angles that are vertical angles. In other words, they are equal. So I'm going to write an equation. My equation becomes 4x plus 8 equals 102. This is a 2-step equation. I'm going to subtract 8 on both sides. Subtract 8. This cancels. I bring down 4x equals 102 minus 8, I know is 94. Divide both sides by 4. Divide 94 by 4. 4 divided by 4 cancels because 4 divided by 4 is 1, which is 1x, equals 94 divided by 4 doesn't go in evenly. I get 23.5, and again, you can check that by dividing. Okay, but that is what x equals. My goal was to solve for x, so I am done. Now, but let's look at a more difficult problem where we are solving for the angle. So not only am I having to find the variable, but again, I have to find the angle. Okay, so here I'm given vertical angles. I have 2x, and I also have 4x minus 42. Again, vertical angles are equal. So I can write my equation. I'm going to write 2x equals 4x minus 42. Now this is an equation that has variables on both sides of the equal sign. So I am going to go ahead and subtract 4x on both sides. And in doing so, I am going to have a negative variable. But that is okay because we know how to deal with negative variables. Okay, 4x minus 4x, this will cancel. 2x minus 4x will give me negative 2x. Bring down the equals. Don't forget the negative right here, negative 42. Okay, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. Negative 2 and divide by -2. This will cancel. -2 divided by -2 is 1. I'm left with 1x which is just x. X equals negative divided by negative will give me a positive. 42 divided by 2 will give me 21. Again, I am not done with my problem. I have found what x equals, but my question is asking me to find, the problem's asking for angle GDE. So if I come down here, GDE is this angle right here. That tells me 2 times x. So I can find it by taking 2 times x, which is 21. I know 2 times 21 will give me 42. That tells me that this angle is equal to 42 degrees. Okay, let's look at one more different type of angle that you are going to see for the lesson. The last type of angle that we are going to look at is adjacent angles. Now, adjacent angles share a common side known as a ray and vertex. Okay, so let's look at this picture right here. Here I have angle 1 and I have angle 2. They actually share a vertex. Here's the vertex right here, and then the ray that goes on forever in this direction. Okay, now let's look at an example to show us how we can use adjacent angles to solve for an unknown. So in this example, I can see that the overall angle right here in green is 57 degrees. I can also see that I'm given this purple angle right here, which is 21 degrees. I need to find what my unknown is. So I need to find x right here. In order to find x, I can take the overall, which is 57 again, and I can subtract what I'm given right here, which is 21 degrees, so that I can find what the remaining of the angle is, which is my x right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write 57 minus 21. 57 minus 21, this will give me 36. Again, what that tells me is that x equals 36, or that this angle right here is equal to 36 degrees. Okay, let's look at another example. Okay, so let's look at practice problem number 1. Here it says to solve for x. I can see down here that the overall angle is 2x plus 1. Also, I am given that the smaller angle in purple is 18 degrees. I can use this information to solve for my unknown angle, which is x. So I can solve for x. So I'm going to go ahead and take the overall, which is 2x plus 1, and I'm going to subtract 18 degrees. This will equal, once I take the overall and I subtract the 18, this will give me my x. Here I can combine. Before I combine, I'm going to bring down the 2x though. Positive 1, negative 18 will give me negative 17. Bring down the equals x. This is an equation where I have a variable on both sides of the equal sign. So I am going to subtract 2x so that I can combine my like terms. Again, I know I'm going to be dealing with a negative variable, but that is okay. Here, do not forget to bring down the negative. So I have negative 17 equals x minus 2x will give me negative 1x. In other words, just negative x. I want to get rid of this negative, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. Negative 1. I know that a negative divided by a negative will give me a positive, so I'm left with just x. So I'm going to write x equals negative 17 divided by negative 1 will give me positive 17. I have solved for x, so I have my answer. Okay, let's look at a more difficult problem where I am looking for an angle. So here I am looking for angle DBC. I come down here, I see D, I bring it down to B, C. So I want this purple angle right here, which is 2 times x. In order to find this purple angle, I'm going to take the overall entire angle and I'm going to subtract 50 degrees so that I can determine what 2x is equal to. And then I will solve for x and be able to plug it in to get this angle. Okay, so let's go ahead and just do it. So 4x minus 12. Again, the overall minus 50. That will give me my purple angle, which is equal to 2x. I'm going to combine like terms here. So I have 4x. Negative 12 and negative 50 will give me negative 62 equals 2x. Combine like terms, I have a variable here, I have a variable here. I am going to subtract 4x, subtract 4x. So we'll cancel. Don't forget to bring down the negative. I have negative 62 equals 2x minus 4x will give me negative 2x. Divide both sides by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 will cancel. I'm left with just x right here. So I have x equals negative divided by negative, we said is a positive. 62 divided by 2 will give me 31. So I know x equals 31, but again, this is not my overall answer because I need to take this and I need to plug it in to the purple equation, which is 2x, or purple term. Okay, so it's 2 times x, so I'm going to take 2 times x is 31. When I multiply 2 times 31, we know that that is 62. That tells me that this angle right here, DBC, and how I can write it is angle DBC equals 62 degrees. So same thing with those problems earlier. If I'm looking for an angle, I can write it out this way. So angle DBC equals 62 degrees. Okay, and that is it. I hope that you found my video useful. If you want more practice, please go to www.exploremathinDemand.com. Under the Student Access tab, you will find free math videos and online quizzes. Please don't forget to follow my YouTube for more videos because I have a lot of videos that I am adding and you don't want to miss them. Thank you so much. Bye.